So at the start of all these games, we say such and such team won the toss, they defer, the other team gets the ball to start the half. Watch this.
It is hands.
So Walt Anderson asked him twice. We're going to bring Mike Pereira into this conversation, but the word from the field is the Rams got the ball to start the game, and they're going to get the ball to start the second half. And Mike Pereira, because that's a situation caused by Dak Prescott not using the word defer.
Well, you get a simple choice. You can take your choice now, or you can take it at the second half. If you want the ball to start the second half, then you have to defer your choice in the first half. And he said he wanted to kick. Walt Anderson asked him twice, do you want to kick? And he said yes, pointing that direction. So you end up kicking this half, and then you end up giving the choice to the Rams in the second half, and they'll take the ball.
Dak Prescott is telling anybody who will listen on the bench that he did say defer. But Walt Anderson didn't hear it. Cowboys won the toss. Instead of deferring, they said we will kick. And now that choice belongs to the Rams in the second half, which means they'll get the ball to start each half.
Exactly. And I really think if Walt Anderson, the one thing you expect is defer. So even though Dak's saying he said defer, I really find it unlikely. And he asked him, let's remember, he asked him twice before he made the announcement.
Dak Prescott does use the word defer.
It is heads. Dallas has won the toss.
Go defense. We want to kick it. Kicking it that way.
You want to kick?
We defer the second half. Yes.
Okay, you're going to kick.
Yeah.
So Dak was on the sideline saying, I did say defer. That proves that he did say defer. Now, whether Walt Anderson just A, didn't hear it, or because it was the third time around, didn't acknowledge it, the Rams, as of now, will get the ball to start the first half and to start the second half. Never thought I'd ask you this question. Is the coin flip reviewable?
The coin flip actually is not reviewable, but I think we need to revisit this a little bit too and talk about again as we hear more audio what really did transpire. Well, I think what you have here is an issue of common sense. I mean, first of all, we did hear that he did say we defer to the second half at the very end, after he said defense, after he said kick twice. But your initial reaction as a referee has to say, hey, wait a minute, do you know what you're saying here? And then stick around and make sure he understands what he's saying. And I think Walt could have done a better job handling that.
Sean McVay expecting to get the ball to start this second half. A conversation was had at the half, it appears, between New York and these officials and Walt Anderson. And so now, after all the conversation and the confusion with the opening coin flip, it appears the Dallas Cowboys are going to get the ball after all here to start the second half.
Yeah, and I don't know if it would have made much of a difference, but you'd sure expect that decision to be made, and these coaches to be alerted of that before the end of the first half. It affects strategy. Now, the Rams didn't have much of any strategy there in that first half, and the Cowboys ended up stealing the possession with the takeaway from Sean Lee, and now they are going to get the ball to start this second half anyway. I was going to say coming into this half, it's paramount that the Rams come away with some kind of points on their opening possession of the third quarter. Now, with the Cowboys, in fact, receiving this kickoff, the Rams have to find a way to come up with a stop.
Erin Andrews, what did you learn at the half?
I just spoke with Walt Anderson on the field, and he told me at halftime they did determine that the word deferred was said at one point by Dak Prescott. So they decided to give the ball to the Dallas Cowboys. I will tell you, I walked into the half with Jason Garrett. We spoke about the game, and at the end, he asked me about the audio that we played, asked me all about it, and said, so you did hear defer? I said, yes. He said, okay. But that was news to Sean McVay coming out of the tunnel that Cowboys were going to get the ball.
All right, well covered. Thanks, Aaron. And yeah, that audio makes the difference between the Rams starting this half for the football.
Kind of makes you ask the question, however, who was it that told Jason Garrett that they had audio? If he's telling Erin Andrews or asking her what it said, what was said as he's coming off the field at halftime, somebody communicated to him that they heard it on the broadcast.
So meanwhile, Mike Pereira, you're here for just this type of reason. What exactly transpired to change what we thought was going to happen here at the start of the second half?
Well, it was actually New York who referred to Rule 15-3-8, which allows replay. New York felt that replay actually was allowed to get into it under game administration. In the rule book, it says that they can get involved in penalty enforcement, proper down, spot of foul, and game clock. Those are 4 things they can get involved with, but New York felt like they heard the actual defer, so they are the ones that made the decision to basically flip.